What's going on YouTube? Here we are behind the wheel of a 98 Civic, and I'm going to teach you how to drive manual. Now before I teach you how to get the car moving, I'm going to teach you the golden rule of driving stick. When you feel like you're in trouble, when you're at a red light and you think you're going to stall, when anything's happening, you push the clutch pedal in, you put the car into neutral, therefore your car cannot stall out, and you have your foot in the brake, you're not going to roll backwards, and you're not going to make a fool of yourself. Just put your blinkers on, people are going to go around you, it's going to be okay. That's the most important thing. Clutch in, go to neutral, no trouble. This is the second golden rule of driving stick. This thing right here, the shifter, with the shift knob on top, that isn't anything else in this car but the shifter. This, you do not touch it, you do not put it in gear unless your car is off or your clutch pedal is turned in. Because if your car is on and you try pushing this thing into gear, it's going to grind and it's not going to go into gear, and then you're going to be like really mad that your car doesn't work and you just got it. So that's the second golden rule. Besides putting the car into neutral, you want to make sure you do not move this without the clutch being in, or else you're going to grind your gears. And that really grinds my gears. So you heard me talking about the clutch pedal, this thing right here, but you don't know what it is. What the clutch pedal is, it connects your transmission to your engine. So when you give the car gas, it spins the flywheel on the engine, in turn to spin the clutch and the transmission to get the wheels moving. Now, when you have the clutch pedal pushed in, the engine isn't connected to the transmission, so there's no movement involved. The engine isn't spinning the transmission at that point. That's why in first gear, what you do is you put the clutch in and then you give it some gas so you can transfer some power from the engine to the transmission. So that's why you gotta give it gas when you're in first gear. Alright, so now you know what the clutch pedal is. You know not to move this when your car is on. So I think you have those two under the belt. Now it's time to get the car started. So you're gonna push the clutch in, you're gonna turn the key, and while the clutch pedal is still pushed in, you want to make sure you're not into gear, because you'll stall immediately. We're in neutral, so I can let the clutch pedal out. Okay, so now the car is on and we're ready to drive. So what you do is, you put your foot on the brake, you take your shifter, you put it into drive, and then you get moving. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's a little bit more complicated than that, so let me explain. See the tachometer? The third golden rule. When you give it gas in first gear, you don't go above 2,000 RPMs, because that means you're going to ride your clutch, and you don't want to ride your clutch. That also grinds my gears. Okay? So now I taught you the third golden rule. When you give it gas in first gear, you do not go above 2,000 RPMs. So let's go ahead and get familiar with our pedal sensitivities. So right here, feel your pedal. See where it gets to 2,000 RPMs. Know when it gets to 2,000 RPMs, you're not going to go above that. So try getting it around 1,600 RPMs. That's the optimal spot where you want to give it gas when you're giving it clutch at the same time. Now, I've driven GTIs, I've driven Porsche Carreras, and I've drove Subaru WRXs. Every car is different. That's why before you start getting moving, you want to get a feel for the pedals. So now we know exactly where the sweet spot is for the gas pedal. Now we want to learn about the clutch pedal. In order to find out the clutch friction point, the friction point is where the car starts, the flywheel starts biting the clutch and it starts vibrating. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the clutch in, you're going to put the car into first, you're not going to give it any gas at this point. You're going to see where the friction point is. So let the clutch out slowly, and now when you feel the car starts vibrating, that's where your friction point is. That's the spot where you're going to start giving it gas. Okay, so now you know where your friction point is, you know your pedal sensitivity, so now it's time to get the car moving in first gear. Alright, you're ready to move. So you put the clutch in, you put the car into first gear, you find the friction point, and then you give it some gas, 1,600 RPMs. Oh, I just forgot. You want to make sure your handbrake is down, or else your car is not going to move. So let's try that again. You're going to put the clutch in, car's in first gear, friction point, and then give it some gas. And now you can see that the car is moving. And that's really all you need to know about driving stick. As long as you have those golden rules under your belt, Right now I think I'm in trouble. Oh, what am I going to do? Clutch pedal in, neutral, and look, my car didn't stall, and I'm doing just fine right now. Okay, we've come to a stop sign. You can see right there, that's the stop sign. So we put the car into first gear, we put the clutch out, and wait a second, we just stalled. So what do? Right now, you can tell it's stalled by the battery light came on, and your car's in first gear, and it's off. So what you do is, you put the car back into neutral, and then you start the car again. Okay, there we go. That's what a stall is. It's not very painful. It's only more embarrassing when there's cars behind you at a red light, but you know what? You're driving stick, they're driving automatic, they're lazy, you're cool. That's all you gotta think. You're cooler than them, they're not driving stick. So now your car started again. You want to put the clutch in, put the car into first gear, you get the friction point, you get some gas, and then you start moving. Easy as cake, and everyone loves you. So now you can hear that I'm in second gear, and I'm going to go over how to get into second gear, and when I get to this stop sign right here. Oh, and my seatbelt's off, but it's okay because I'm cool. Alright, so now we know how to get the car moving in first gear. Now again, second gear, it's just like first gear. Clutch in, second gear. You don't even need to give it gas at that point. And the car is moving just fine. See how fun it is? Once you start driving stick, you're never going to want to go back to automatic, because when you drive stick, you can get the feel for like your car a lot more than if it was just automatic. Right now I'm just rambling really, but alright, it's cool. You know, that's just my long rambling video on how to drive stick. I really hope I helped you. And if you want, just leave a comment, subscribe to me, whatever you gotta do. Thanks a lot.